What'd you say?
I said we're live.
Hey guys, it's day 3 of an incredible project. This is actually the second time we've been out at this property out here in Prospect Heights. But I wanted to walk you through the finished project and more importantly kind of go over the entire design of the whole backyard. Every now and then Aquascape is fortunate enough to kind of do the entire layout from the pavilions to the patios to the placement of the furniture, the pathways, the bridges, even some helpful hints on where to put some different plants. But for me, all designs start in one spot, and that's inside the house. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We've got this magnificent 3-season room, and you can just see how important it is to make sure that water falls in the outside. Not quite right, but I'm exaggerating for all of you. It's warm, right? and sometimes sitting outside just isn't as comfortable as sitting inside. So that's why we focus so much of the viewing from inside the house, whether that's a kitchen window, whether that's a 3-season room, maybe it's your family room, maybe there's a glimpse even from a bedroom or something. But if you look over here behind me, you can see how this big giant water feature ends right here. So we get that final waterfall. That waterfall actually falls into a 3,000 gallon rainwater harvesting system, which they use that water to irrigate some of the plants out here. So we actually grab water off of the roof. It goes down and do a first flush, which I'll show you outside here, and then a booster pump borrows that water, and they get to reuse it again. Let's show them the kitchen window, because not all the time do we get to walk around people's houses.
What do they got in there?
Oh my gosh, the refrigerator's so much nicer than
And it's more stock than mine.
But if you can see here, the view from out here, let's pull this open for them. Am I gonna mess this up? Look at that. But we've got this great pavilion that they can come sit out there. They get so much sun out there. So this pavilion was so important, just so they could sit out there, still relax and not feel like they're baking on top of that patio. You can see the waterfalls off in the distance. And if you look really close out there, oh, you can't see it, but right out there, there's another waterfall, which you guys are gonna see soon. So let's go back outside and we'll walk through this whole design. Another thing I think we like to do at Aquascape when we're designing these water features is create a little mystery. My favorite backyards are the ones where you can't see the whole thing from one viewing area. The ones that really kind of pull you through the yard and make you experience and discover new things around every other corner. So you saw the one waterfall out here. That actually pulls a lot of people outside the house and they come out into this space. And now you can see as we move into this space here, there's a big pond that you really weren't focused on when you were sitting inside. And so if you move through here, you can imagine what this place looks like at night. You know, you've got all these lights stringed up. Got to have kind of that New Orleans courtyard feel to it. And then this great looking koi pond over here. One of the neat things we did when we built this, was this last year, Chris?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So you can see how we've got these large flagstone pieces cantilevered out over the water. The way we do that is on the inside here, we actually have a concrete wall that supports this. So right on top of the liner, there's just a concrete wall that sits here and then supports this whole thing, really keeping the patio as close to the water level as possible. Nothing better than sitting here, dangling your feet into the water.
Oh, you're so cute.
What an awesome area.
This is incredible.
They've got some great big koi in here. Originally, this was just supposed to be a stream, and as we started building this 2 years ago, we said, hey, while we're out here, I'd love to see this stream kind of slow down by the viewing area and give you the opportunity to do some fish. And I think we just kept digging and gave him a 3-foot deep koi pond, and he's got some nice fish in here. So now if you look at it from here, remember when I was talking about a little bit of mystery, so you don't see everything from one area? If this is your first experience of the backyard, if you look to the right, you can see how the pond kind of slowly starts getting shallower and shallower. As it winds through that meandering stream over there with the driftwood and the irises and stuff, it eventually feeds that waterfall that we saw on the inside of the house over in that area. And so we come back over here, now you discover those stairs that you really didn't see from inside the house. And so a great area for smaller kids, I've got this at my house, which I'll show you guys someday, but you can come down here, set a lawn chair down in here, kind of sit down in this area, cool off. Or for kids, it's a great little wading pool, and you can have a lot of fun. But remember, where I'm standing is actually on top of that 3,000 gallon rainwater harvesting system. Over here is the first flush. You can see here, we've got our downspout that comes here. We've got our first flush that catches the water. Then there's a pipe that goes underground, underneath this walkway, and then feeds that. And we've actually got two of these. We've got one here and one over on the other corner. This is a magnificent view, right? I think one of the neat things too is the homeowner definitely has a green thumb, and the landscaping so complements this. I love when I can't tell where the water ends and where the land begins, and he's done such a great job. Look at the Japanese maple, how it's starting to grow out over the waterfall a little bit. He's got the irises back in there. Looks like some coreopsis and stuff coming in from the side. Now over here, of course our signature on every pond is the waterfall. And where we love to do is put a bridge really close to the waterfall. Everybody wants to get to that waterfall as close as they possibly can, and a bridge pulls them in that direction. The other thing the bridge does, whether they know it or not, is it offers a perfect opportunity for photo ops. So every family Christmas card, I guarantee they're sitting on the rocks by the waterfall or sitting by the bridge, and then you've got that big waterfall behind you. Let's go check that out real quick. So again, this winding path. From in there, you had no idea what this path was. And now we start discovering different things. Like, look at this fence. I don't even know what variety of Japanese maple
It's
this
cool,
is,
though.
but it's really neat. You can tell he's into his conifers. And so now you're really more on a garden walk, right? And looking at all these different evergreens and different shrubs. And he's got some very unique stuff. And as you continue to pull through the yard, you discover more and more. And so now we've got this awesome waterfall. We built this. We've got a biofalls up here, so a biofalls 6,000 over here, and then a spillway over here with some rock and stuff on it. I think we did an awesome job of hiding both the biofalls and that spillway. The one thing I really want to focus on though is that biofalls. Everybody always asks, how do you hide that thing? And too many people end up putting a big flat rock over the top of the biofalls. The problem with putting a big flat rock over the top of that, it actually draws dry more towards that container. I'd rather it look like a shallow upper pool that's more spring fed. And then with the proper plantings, you have no idea that that's a huge filter right there. You've got the coreopsis in there, some creeping jennies, some Pacific blue junipers, that Japanese maple again, the different conifers. And then look at how neat the waterfall is coming down through the different steps. And then we focus on the detail. Remember when we did this, where we drilled out that little hole back here? The water would come in through here. See my finger? Comes in through here. Even this little bit right here. We knew that water would come up under here, and we just wanted a little trickle. And I don't know if every homeowner appreciates those little tiny things that we go through, but it makes our job, I think, more entertaining and more worth it. Because every day we're trying to improve on our craft. We're standing on the bridge. You guys, if you haven't heard this before, I've probably said it at least 1,000 times. I try to incorporate bridges into almost every single one of my designs. And the reason I try to do that is there's something very psychological about them. If you put a bridge in, there's not a person in the world that can resist crossing it. So you remember when we were sitting over on the patio over there, and I said I wanted to put a bridge here that pulls you to this? Of course everybody wants to come here. And then when you get here, you discover that this yard continues to go and go and go. And so if we come in this way, I'll show you what we did. Wait, do you want to go this way? Really quick, the inspiration of what you guys are about to see came off of a dry stream bed that's over on the side yard over here. So I want to show you this dry stream bed. So what happened, the customer called us out, and he had a drainage problem on the back side. Water, when it rains, water's cutting through his yard, and he says it's actually kind of like a raging river. And it really divides his yard in half, and it gets really swampy and everything else. I said there's two ways to handle that. We can come in and do a bunch of drainage pipe and put in catch basins, run big pipe out, and then discharge it out further in the streets. Or we can just accept the fact that that's what Mother Nature wants to do and let water run through there. But let's make it pretty looking. here was the same thing. So another landscaper came in here, and I don't know if you can see this, but you can actually tell that water kind of races through this area here. Well, they put this dry stream bed in, and this is typically what people see as a dry stream bed, just a vein of gravel that comes. Occasionally you'll see a big boulder here, a big boulder there, just to break up the monotony of all this. When we at Aquascape think of dry stream beds, I really try to picture what I've seen in nature. And when I picture a dry stream bed in nature, I picture something that should be running most of the season, and when in the season of droughts, this is what it looks like. This is not what you would see in nature, ever, ever, ever. So I told the customer, I said, listen, we're gonna do a dry stream bed, but we're gonna put our twist on it. So let me show you what we did. This is so cool. This might be one of my favorite backyards of all time, and I think I say that with every project, right? Because tomorrow's project will be even better, the next project will be even better, but this one is exceptionally cool. We used over 50 tons of stone on this dry stream bed, and what is it? How long does it go?
85, yeah, about 80 feet.
So again, don't go that way. Teaser, don't show them that. So remember that pathway? That pathway led to something that you never saw from in the house. And this is one of my favorite parts of this backyard. You've got the bridge, you've got the patio, you've got the pavilion, and then you have this winding pathway which you see until you get to the bridge. Once you've crossed the bridge, you continue to take that journey, and then you discover this fantastic little kind of sunken fire pit area over here. And we've got these big boulders that kind of retain everything back. The customer said it reminded them of a Yosemite Park when he would go and he'd have the, like, what were they, the, signs of fire?
Yeah.
Like chance of fire low, moderate, high, that kind of stuff. So we've added his own little stuff in here, which is really cool. But such an awesome place. Just kind of sit back here, relax. It gets away from the hustle and bustle. Something you can say out loud.
Sure.
Hustle and bustle.
Hustle and bustle.
Hustle and bustle. Maybe more the party area, right? If you're entertaining, everybody's living over in there. If you want to kind of quiet down, get a small little campfire going over here, you've got the swing, you've got the different chairs. It's just a really intimate spot. But when you sat back here, what you used to look at was just a bunch of grass, and now look at what you see. I'm showing now. Show now. Huh?
Look at that.
Boom. So these are massive, massive rocks, and it's just such a cool thing, right? And this frames it all out. And what I get excited about is knowing how talented he is with the landscaping, how passionate he is about the landscaping, how incredible this thing is going to look year after year, and even block out more of that over there. So now it really has like this sunken area. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to do just a dry stream bed. I wanted him to look at something more than just rock. And so we have a small little pondless waterfall here. When I say small, it means the reservoir is not that big. It's a couple 100 gallons.
Yep.
Right? We have obviously some massive, massive boulders in here. There's some rocks in here that range from 5,000, 6,000. I think there's even some pushing 7,000 and 8,000 pounds. That one, I know the machine was really, really struggling to move. Same with that one over in there. But as you come through here, notice we have another bridge, right? And the psychological part of the bridge is always that it leads to something else. And so as you come to the bridge, you really start discovering more and more. And now you get a totally different looking dry stream bed. I mean, look at how cool this thing is.
So awesome.
Massive rocks. I said this. I told the customer, I said, your biggest regret is going to be one thing. You're going to wish this was running when we were finished. 100%. I want you to picture water racing through this whole thing. And when it rains, it actually will. The way it's set up is we dug things out back in there to accept a lot of the water. We just have our geotextile fabric underneath us, and then we just went to town like we would build a normal looking stream. But look at this, how it twists and turns. And when it's really going to start looking incredible, again, is when he starts landscaping it. And stuff starts creeping over the edges here. There's even opportunities, like you can feel how spongy this is just from the natural groundwater that just sit here. What I would do is pull some of this gravel back, cut out some of the fabric, and put in things like horsetail and let it kind of go. Maybe put in some keeping Jenny here and there, just to soften this up on the inside of the stream, not just on the outside. And then if you look back down this way, you get another view of that dry stream bed. One thing I think you did really well, Chris, when we were talking about the design, I never want to see the point of origin. And so the placement of that big rock right out over there really hides where the dry stream originated from, making you want to continue pathway going this way. So this pathway is going to take you out in the yard. Eventually there'll be some big evergreens here really hiding all of this off. And then look at how much space he still has. I mean, he had a big backyard, but it actually, I think we've said this many times, but a well-designed backyard, even with over 100 total tons of stone in the backyard and 2 different water features, if it's well-designed, it actually makes your backyard feel 4 times larger than it was. If it was just a big open area of grass, there's no reason to leave even the kitchen sink to go out and discover. You can see everything from one area. As you come this way, you can see some of these big boulders on that side. And again, picture some huge evergreens planted up in here to really frame this in. So when you are sitting on that patio or sitting over there in the pavilion, you have no idea that there's a whole other part of his yard you keep discovering. You can see we've got to do some cleanup work. We're going to cut this edge out here, get a little bit of a peninsula out there. Great idea, Chris. I'm thinking like a red bud or something that would look really nice.
Yep.
And then you come and there's another bridge.
Yep.
Right? And so the journey continues. The reason we put this bridge in is it would be impossible for people to stand on that bridge way down there. If they saw that bridge, get a glimpse of that bridge from up there, then they want to know how to get to here. So the journey continues, right? And now they come here and they discover a whole different part of his garden. Kind of this secret entrance back in through this area. Never saw the stepping stones from the other side.
That's cool.
You kind of come around this way, and then if you're adventurous enough, you can take a step over here, and then back you go to the beginning.
Prom picture.
You're live.
It looks great, Bray.
Yeah. So I love this project. I think it's so much fun to do projects like this, and especially when the customers kind of just let us do our thing, right? And they've been so great to work with, and understanding that we have a vision and they have a vision too. And so it's really a lot of times just kind of facilitating a bunch of different ideas and bringing them all together to create something like this. And so this is just going to get better and better over time. You contractors that are coming to Pandemonium, this will be on the stop, the contractor tour on the stop, with the swim pond and with a couple other great projects that are out in this area. So make sure you come to Pandemonium so you guys can see this in person, because video and me explaining it just don't do it justice. You have to be out here to see it. You guys, this is fun for me. We're going to continue to do these. Make sure if you like this, you hit like, subscribe, comment, whatever you all do, and we'll make sure we get back to you. If you have questions, you can leave them, but I'm not going to answer them right now. Till next time. We'll see you guys.